came out with 2 garbage bags. So apparently they went in, Jimmy opened my locked file cabinets, okay? So just so you know, wasn't nothing unlocked. Jimmy opened my locked file cabinets and grabbed as many files as they could. Now, mind you, that was during a time that we weren't forced to be virtual. So I had physical files. They stole over 250 files, one of my laptops, and my 32 caliber that I had hidden in the purse. And so, you know, at that moment, the first thing you're trying to do is get this together. At that time, which was a blessing for me because just a couple of days or so, maybe a week after the break-in, that's when IRS started the stakeholder liaison department, okay? That was during the time that Trump was in office. So of course, Trump was doing that government shutdown stuff. And I just so happened to leave a message. I want to say it was like January the 18th of 2018, days before they were going to shut down. And it was a blessing that the liaison stakeholder in Nashville was able to contact me with her 1 hour in office to let me know before they shut down what I needed to do, which was the following. I had to, of course, let my clientele know, but I needed to get an Excel spreadsheet to them ASAP with all the information of the clients. That included the taxpayer, the spouse if they had one, the dependents, social security numbers, dates of birth, address, the whole 9. And I managed to stop them, which of course meant you had to stop everything else you're doing. You can't even advertise right now. You can't take on new clientele right now. And I managed to go ahead and get her an Excel spreadsheet to make sure they flagged those returns so that when they started paying on Valentine's Day, they wouldn't be getting those refunds. I got a visitor from 2 agents from the security department who were looking for me. And of course, when they were looking for me, they ended up going to the old location because I'm sure brick and mortar people know that usually when you leave one place and go to another, they don't like that. So what they'll do if your signage is up of your business, they'll leave that up, hoping that people will continue to look for you there, kind of prevent you from moving to your new location. And so when they visited me, they showed me a list of about 103, maybe 130 clients they were using because my paperwork was in there, had my name, had my EFIN, had my my 5-digit PIN, my address, my phone number. They were pretending to try to file like me and trying to get $250,000 out of those 130, I want to say 138 clients. By God's grace, I managed to stop it, but I was so busy making sure I protected my clients. The one that got through was my own daughter and grandson. So she had to go through the entire identity theft process. But that was only one out of all the ones they were trying to get. So I helped her go through that process and everything, made sure she got her return. And I have to say the unfortunate fact is that this case has still not been solved yet. And even though I gave them leads and information, and I'm quite sure it's because of the auditing they're attempting to do with us as we speak. And you know, I remember when I took my daughter down to the IRS office here in Memphis, that's no longer open on downtown Memphis. And the lady who was helping us out said, and this is really sad, but I'm just gonna be real with y'all. The lady in Memphis said that it's usually tax preparers who steal people's information. And in our defense, what I told her is that's the problem. You allow everyone to be a tax preparer. I'm a real tax preparer. I help people get their real returns. And you guys let everything go through, and then you label all of us as tax preparers. Those aren't tax preparers. Tax preparers don't steal information from people trying to get, money from people or with other people's information. And that's the very reason why I stopped everything and did what I did off the back, because my biggest thing was whoever it was wasn't going to run out of the country or have money to afford a lawyer. So I made sure I did what I had to do to stop it. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been rebuilding since then, because you have some people, which we've talked about last week with Raven, where some people will badmouth you really bad. And there were some people that were with me from the first 10, 15, 20 years who were saying, I probably did it. And I'm a regular person just like them, live in a regular 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house in a regular neighborhood, with regular vehicle, usually buy a used vehicle or whatever. And that's not to downput getting your just rewards. Don't get it twisted, because I'm there too. But at the same time, it just was ironic how that was working out. People that sometimes are with you the longest will think the worst. Not to your face, of course, might I add, because some of those people still come trying to see me, but will tell somebody else something else. And so with the liaison department, I had to work with them, to get things done. They will help you with that. I can say that I've gone paperless ever since then. I do my darndest not to deal with any paperwork because of what, took place. The fact that people were able to take the files that you're supposed to keep people's personal information on and all that jazz, which she wouldn't have done if she could have had access to, my computer. And I'm not gonna lie, it truly tested my gangster, because this woman only lived a few houses down from the office. It truly, truly tested my gangster. I have to admit. So I'm going to answer some questions right now, and then I'm going to have some more information where I'm going to show you guys on the IRS website where you can go to get some type of assistance. But I will also say this: when that takes place, you have to contact every single client, whether it be from a letter, a personal phone call, which is what I did, a personal phone call to let them know what's going on. I had to offer clients lockout services, something, like a identity protection plan for at least a year, which I did. And I'm one of the people who really, I'm going to get really close with Raven on this automation stuff, because it's hard for me, considering what took place, to trust people to work with me again. Again, this was a 63-year-old sister, retired CPA. I wouldn't have thought that in a heartbeat or 2 heartbeats. Anybody got any questions? We can open up and go ahead and ask if you have any questions. And another thing too, I want to add, when I went to the last IRS forum, I believe it was tax year 2000. Well, that was 2019. That was the last one we had before COVID hit, before the pandemic hit. They started doing cybersecurity seminars. And the guy actually saw my name tag for Jada Tax Services and said they were working on my case right now. They have so many because there's a lot of people who are taking people's personal information and doing it in in big lumps of numbers. But what also helped me was the fact that I've never done extremely large batches at one time, not from day one, because it's not logical to file a whole bunch of returns at one time unless you do have a team. I was one person in my home, you know what I mean? So it never made sense. And so that's what helped me too, because e-services could go back to my history and see that I never sent out 100 and nothing returns at no time. So again, I'm opening up for questions, or anybody want any input to put in it, you're welcome to do it. And good evening again, and thank y'all for your patience. And I haven't looked on chat yet. So let me do that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of
Hi, this is Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
How are you?
Good, and I love your motivational videos, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
I be peeking
I
at
be knowing
work.
that people see it.
I be peeking at work. I be sneaking.
Oh, okay. Okay, I used to just do like normal ones, and then Raven said, "Do I have any like geared towards taxes?" So now I try to do like the business ones. But thanks for noticing.
Yes.
I had a question. Do you happen to have a suggestion or a preference for cybersecurity, like insurance or provider?
Hiscox has been good to me, and I believe I got that recommendation during pandemic through Raven, and I'm glad I did, or in the group when she first started it, and I'm glad I did, because I'm gonna tell you something. I did have insurance on my building. I did have ADT, and guess what? ADT didn't work that night, and the insurance said, which was nationwide at the time, said that they couldn't cover anything more than $1,000, and it cost me $400 just to replace that damn door, the glass. And then
I've heard a lot of good things about Hiscox, but I also heard that they may not be available in Texas for cybersecurity. I haven't looked that up yet. I'm in Texas, so I'm gonna look at them. I was just wondering.
And anybody in chat, please let her know of any other insurance companies, because I heard somebody talking about one in class last week, but Hiscox has not let me down. And which is good, because I'm back operating in my home now since COVID. The mentality has changed a lot since COVID. I don't want to be like that woman in Chicago last year that clocked somebody upside the head with a gun. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get a little more Jesus in me. But ADT also found out when they looked that their system was not working, and had the nerve to only offer me $1,000 as well. I was so busy trying to salvage that season that I didn't get with either one of them on that funky 1,000. I just went on about my business and did what I had to do. But Hiscox is pretty good, and I pray that they cover you in Texas. If not, if anybody else knows of another insurance, please type it up, especially if you live in the Texas area. But I remember there was an insurance agent on here last week, and I can't recall her name, but she said something about insurance too. And y'all gonna make me check out Big Burke, because Hiscox has gone up a little bit here in Memphis, Tennessee. But Memphis is a little Texas. There's a lot of crime and stuff going on here too. If anyone else has any questions, feel free. And then I'm gonna go on and show y'all how to maneuver to the liaison part. And that's another thing too. E-services was my friend, because when I called e-services and let them know what was going on, because the lady who was working for the liaison stakeholder also let me know to call e-services. E-services switched my EFIN right away. That also helped flag those 138 returns that they were trying to send because my EFIN was changed. And that's the EFIN I've been using since tax year 2018. But one thing you definitely want to do is move quick. You definitely want to have your, I prefer VPN services as well as the antivirus. And making sure no matter what you've got going on, y'all, do not give your private login information to your employees. If it gotta wait till you get there, it just gotta wait till you get there, because you just don't know anymore, unfortunately. And that's not to down label trustworthy people. I love trustworthy people to death and thank God for them every day. But there's just too many people out here who are trying to make a quick buck. And it's not a good feeling, because you kind of feel like a criminal from the beginning when you ain't even did nothing but try to run your business. But you'll have to go through a fine tooth comb first, because they are thinking that you're the criminal first, that you tried something. Then they have to use their common sense to think, okay, this person is in business. They're not trying to make a quick buck and run to Texas, I mean, Mexico or whatever. But you are you are guilty until proven innocence in your case. It's gonna take e-services looking at your prior years to see your habits, your trend, you know, what you usually do, for them to realize how different it is. And e-services was great. I mean, they really were. But yeah, that, like I said, I'm still rebuilding from it. And not just rebuilding as far as building up clientele again, because I've been doing a lot of social media and stuff, and I'm signed up with Better Business Bureau. Because of how many years I've been in business, I get a AAA rating. Google business page has been my best friend. I mean, we BFF, because I just got me an Asian client who came all the way from a richer area last year after tax season. This year, after tax season, took her shoes off at the door and walked in to get her taxes done, and came back that evening and brought me my cash to finish it. So Google Business is your best friend, which I really love, because it also allowed me to not put my address on, because since I'm operating from home, like I said, virtual, you know, doing automation is gonna be my right-hand man. But at the same time, some people do want to see you in person. Y'all know that. But at least you'll get to speak to them and use that discernment. For whatever higher power you use, you're gonna need discernment, because these folks are off the chain out here in some areas. Yeah, they be on one. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm about to go into showing y'all how I used the IRS website. So hold on. Okay, please let me know if you can see the screen or if you can't see the screen, because this is my very first Zoom, y'all.
No screen, Miss Dion.
Can you see it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what I gotta do here.
You probably got to start your video first. Did you start your video at the bottom?
Start my video at the bottom. Duh, thank you. I'm sorry, I came straight from the lawyer's office. I started a job after Labor Day as an auditor for a law firm here in Memphis. And I'm glad I did, because it looks like auditing is what's going on right now. So it'll be kind of a good thing to get hands-on experience with while making some money. So let me. Okay, so y'all see me. So I guess I need to flip this. Go on and guide me. I ain't mad. Let's see.
Are you on Zoom on your computer or on your cell phone, or are you using two separate devices?
No, on my computer, on my laptop.
So then hit share your screen at the top,
Okay.
and then you want to click on whatever window you want to share and hit share.
It should look like a little green box that says share screen.
Okay.
It might be at the bottom. Mine is at the bottom. It may be in the, or you might have to like hover over the bottom in case your options aren't coming up, maybe.
Okay. Okay. There it is. Boom, at the bottom, like you said, bit. Okay. Alt S. There we go. Okay. We in there. Okay, so can you guys see the IRS website?
Yes.
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Okay. I'll tell you how this works out. I was looking up that Saturday, a week after the break-in, I was looking up you know, breach of information. And when I did, that's when I got connected to Stake Liaison. And I promise y'all, it had just started that year. Thank God, it had just started that year. Ooh, that's scary. Hold up. Oh, so they've changed it a bit. Let me say something. Yeah. They've changed it from the stakeholder liaison to the practitioner local liaison meetings and seminars for the contingent on what state. Wow. Okay. So just pulling up liaison in the search bar can take you, you'll actually have to go to the state that you're in to contact your actual liaison. So let's say if you were in Florida and you go to the Florida liaison, it'll give you this a little bit. Tax practitioner classes, webinar, IRS video portal. I'm trying to see where you can actually talk to somebody, because I want to say reporting information in terms, no. Business, small businesses. Businesses, corporations. Wow. All right, y'all, we got to put our heads together on this and I'm open to suggestions. We're gonna have to put our heads together on a nice security plan for ourselves, simply because if you look at this website right now, like I am, and you can go on and look at it yourself, there's nothing here for a tax practitioner except for classes. So that could be very well why I'm not hearing anything back. Maybe they've shut it down as far as helping us out. That's a little depressing. I'm just, I mean, we got this. Don't get it twisted, but let me check something out right quick. Still states. Let me try Tennessee. Wow. Oh, and might I mention too, with those 138 clients, the ones that I could have reached because people changed phone numbers, so on and so forth, addresses, we had to paper file all of those because their information was flagged to keep it from going through as with the identity theft. I had to paper file each and every one of those and attach a 14039 for identity theft to them. And some of them are a little irritated about it because they get a PIN number every year, but at the same time, they're guaranteed a PIN number every year, which will be different and of which they'll be permanently protected. Minus if they change their address and don't, send in an 8822 to notify IRS so that the PIN can come there, or if they don't identify themselves, because they can call the identity theft line in the event they don't get their PIN number, because sometimes it's not mailed as it should be, or it's mailed and they didn't get it, what have you, but they can call the identity theft line. And if they identify themselves, and identifying yourself consists of information from your last tax return. For example, what's in box number 1 and what's in box number 2 of your W-2, or your biggest paying W-2 if they had more than one. The maiden name of their mother and the name of their father, their maiden name, and the city and county that they, as well as their parents, may have been from. And then that way, once they do that from identity theft, then in the event that they see that they did not send out the identity theft PIN, they'll send them one. But if they see they did send them one, then they will send them a new one within a 2-week period. But unfortunately, even though it may be a bit of an inconvenience, it's a great security, because now those 138 clients have a PIN. They get a PIN number every year, and all I got to do is make sure nobody else gets it, so that way nobody's filing their return. And they haven't had any problems since 2018, and it's been 5 years, so I can say that they've had no problems. It hasn't happened, again, that's for sure. because now I live in a red state. And so those who live in a red state, we have a right to protect our business, our place of home, and we will. So it, I unfortunately, I have to say, the way this site looks now, I don't think they have the liaison for us in the sense of helping us get to the bottom of the security breach, which could be, cyber as well as physical if you have a brick and mortar. So maybe we're giving me the answer as to why they haven't told me they finished it and put her in jail, because I was ready to testify no matter what state I had to go to federal court and pay to bring any clients I could with me. Because I have one who's a nurse and works for two facilities, and every now and then she still gets harassed by a loan place, because I guess when I stop them from stealing people's information, they used her. I know for a fact they use her information to get signature loans, which lets you know how many people allow people to do things based on a little information, because you didn't have her original ID. You were using a black and white copy to do it, and you forged her name. There's like an actual loan place that harasses her every now and then. I think it's been a year or so since the last time they have threatening to take her to court. And of course, I told her by all means, tell them, let's go to court, because you never took out the loan and I can prove it. We sent police reports, because I actually had to do 2 police reports, because one is for the physical break-in, but the fact it was files, I had to go through the economic division and file another report so that they could forward it wherever. So yeah. Yep. So this is the advice I have that did work for me, which was making sure that the software was set up where I was the only one that had access to all the files. And I made sure I programmed it to where they would only have access to the file, the return that they do. I had done it different during that time. It wasn't about me giving them any clientele that I had. It was about them doing their own clientele. I'm sure y'all do that now too. Their own clientele that they bring in, that's who they have access to. But I also had it restricted to where they could not file a return. And I also had it restricted to where I check the returns before I file them, and at the end of the season, taking them off completely or stopping the access so that they're not able to access it after the season. Because I actually had one of the tax preparers who I had working for me prior to my move, who was using my information to get at least one of my clients, at least one. I think she tried a few, but was saying that she still worked for me, which she didn't. As well as one person who's an accountant who doesn't work for me anymore, who was still applying for her PTIN number. And I'll give the benefit of the doubt and saying not changing the information on there, but we know what it is. Because see, when they go in, you know as well as I do, when you go in to apply for your P10, you can change your address, you can change the business name, what have you. And unfortunately, I can attest to the fact that trying to get in touch with IRS as far as PTIN holders, it's hard to do. I had better luck actually contacting a former tax preparer who, you know, had some morals about herself, and she said she didn't know. So I was like, well, yeah, you need to go in there under the PTIN application and take off JIDA Tax Services because you're not here anymore. Because what happens is when those PTIN holder reports come up, they put down the business under that person and their contact information too. So it's a lot of logistics involved in it that we have to make ourselves mindful of while trying to make the money, while doing the advertising and everything. Our security is very important. It's just as important as our self-love and our self-health, because it will test both if you're not careful, or if you run up on one of those people. And I really, my heart goes out to y'all right now, because I know a lot of y'all have more, have a good number of clientele, and right now the best we got is a seminar from IRS. Besides what we're doing ourselves, besides what the group is doing as far as protecting our clients and ourselves. Tax professionals, information for tax professionals. Let me go on this site just to look a little further. It didn't look good to me according to what it was, but let me just look and make sure. Yeah, keep your client's information safe. Okay. Let's need assistance prevented. Okay, we do have it. Okay, amen. We do have it. Good. It looked different, but okay, good. We do. We do. There it is. There it is. That's so wow. It's down to just 5 departments. Wow. Y'all see that? So they broke up 50 states into 5 departments. Wow. So basically that's letting you know how long the line will be if you need their help. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm speaking out loud. This is the first time I've seen this in a few years, and it wasn't this clustered. Yeah. Yeah, 10 or more states to each area. So this is like I said, I went to liaison, and let me flip back to see how I maneuvered like this. Okay. When I went to the tax professionals, then down here, you or your firm, if you or your firm are the victim of data theft, immediately report it to your local stakeholder liaison, because they're gonna do just what they did for me, which was help me get them the information so that they can flag before trying to beat the clock for when they disperse. So even though it's a kind of a pain, us getting used to waiting till February 15th, it was actually a blessing in disguise, because if the refunds were going out like they were before the PATH Act of 2015 with President Obama, they would have been able to do what they intended to do. So February 15th is a blessing in disguise for us, because like I said, that was January. I guess they did it on January 7th, because when I came to the office January 8th, that's when I That's when I had it. And I really appreciate Raven asking me to speak about this, because I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time talking about it since it happened. And I still got the pictures, and I still want to kick some butt. But we ain't got time for that. We got real milestones to cross this upcoming tax season, especially with the tax changes, and that there's no more of those breaks that they wanted. We're back to the tax law changes of 2018, where there's no job reimbursement for people who have jobs and pay a lot of money out of their pocket via travel and stuff. No more moving expenses unless you're military, so on and so forth. So, and it's back to the $2,000 credit if they owe taxes for their child, if they have tax liability with IRS, or it's back to, well, I think they took that up $100. It used to be the 1,400 for refundable part, and I believe that's up to 1,500 now. So yeah, and all that pandemic and CARES Act stuff is gone bye-bye. Does anyone have any questions? Well, if nobody has any questions, that's really all I got as far as cybersecurity. Cybersecurity tonight. I know y'all probably got the other class coming up for the partners or whatever. I'm not sure, but I'll surely let you know. And I do have a question. Have any of you experienced that with any of your employees, or break-in or anything of that matter? Hacking your system or any of that? Because we can all learn from each other.
I haven't, knock on wood.
Amen. Amen. Let's see. And I want to show y'all this too. See. And that's another thing too. I also had to let the state attorney general know. There's a lot of people you got to let know when this takes place. A lot of people you got to let know when this takes place. So yeah, making sure you keep everything secure within your system it's I can't emphasize how important it is. Because a lot of people in a lot of tax places, y'all know, especially if you're in the southern parts of the region and stuff, I'm sure we're not the only one who had here in Memphis who had Mo Money. Mo Money was around a big part of the South, and a lot of people, for those who've been in the industry for a little while, a lot of people experienced their information being stolen the next year, because they had their workers would do it too. You know, their workers would do it too. And you know, because they're getting offered to make 50,000 in 90 days and they don't. They probably do more now, but 5-10 years ago they were not. And so a lot of people were taking people's information and making up returns on them. So this theft stuff's been going on for a long time, unfortunately. But if there's no other questions, y'all, we can go on and get up out of here and start making our dinner or whatever. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope it's been helpful to you. And if you have any questions, you can always hit me up in the group or on any of my platforms for Jida Tax Services. And y'all take care and stay blessed.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dion.
Thank y'all. I like it. That's pretty. You said what? I know. I know. I saw your strong muscles when I first met you. I know.
Tomorrow Saturday, mommy.
Can you what?
Tomorrow Saturday.
No, today is Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Then what's after Tuesday?
Saturday.
No, Wednesday. Wednesday. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then it's Saturday.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Hey, Miss Diane, are we still having the 7 o'clock meeting?
Ooh,
Okay, Mom.
hold on 1 second, baby. I'm finna find out and I'm gonna post in the group and on band. I got y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
We have to see her room. Mommy, can I see her? Stop talking back to mommy, Lauren. She's on mom's room. Mommy.